I wanted to introduce a couple tools that we use here today at DABS, particularly for our patients who have repetitive stress injuries. The first one is rapid release. This does high frequency vibration. So what we see with repetitive stress injuries is that muscle adhesions can occur that can lead to scar tissue, limiting range of motion, oftentimes setting the patient up with pain and discomfort. So I'm going to demonstrate here on Zakia's shoulder. Hi, I'm Dr. Mizer here with Zakia at DABS Rehab Center of Maryland. So we have these different heads on here, and we can use those in different ways. So for bigger muscle groups like the shoulder or the back, we typically use this flat one for a greater surface area. If we were dealing with an elbow, we can use this smaller one. Carpal tunnel, we can also use a smaller one. So this is essentially like a massage gun, which are very popular these days, but on steroids. So it's breaking up those microscopic adhesions in the muscle fibers in order to loosen up the joint to create greater range of motion. Our athletes that come in, we have repetitive stress injuries that lead to that scar tissue, so they don't have as great mobility as they should. So that really helps to give them greater mobility. Typically, when we finish up with the rapid release, we move on to the laser, because with those repetitive stress injuries, you oftentimes have pain and inflammation. This laser works great for that. This is a high frequency light, and we typically apply that directly onto the skin for 3 to 4 minutes. And we would use it all around the 4 rotator cuff muscles if it was a rotator cuff issue. We can use it on the elbow if it's golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. And like I said, it helps with pain and inflammation. Typically the patient doesn't feel anything with this treatment. And that's it. You know, you can use this anywhere in the body. It works particularly well in the shoulder for rotator cuff injuries like I mentioned. Also elbow for tennis elbow, golfer's elbow. But we can even use it in the lower back for people who have injured their back. Typically when people have overuse injuries, they have restricted mobility, but they also have pain and inflammation. So this really works wonders for the restricted mobility, this rapid release. And then the laser, the frequency of laser that we use, there's different classes, but the one that we use helps with pain and inflammation in particular. So when we shine that light on there, it's actually decreasing the amount of inflammation that Zakia has in her body, and it's also bringing her pain levels down. In addition to that, it also helps with healing. It stimulates a part of the cell that's responsible for cell turnover, so it speeds the healing process as well.